Another tactic that has been very, very effective for the intelligence community is fear. And this is not fear of the sort of traditional blackmail that we've heard about from decades ago, where the FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, who held that position for half a century, had enough information on every member of Congress that they were worried about being personally exposed. This is a more subtle kind of blackmail where members of the intelligence community say to members of Congress, do you want to be the one to deny us this authority if there's another terrorist attack? We are going to be pointing the finger at you if there is another terrorist attack. And this is something that I hear very often when I speak to members of Congress, that it's extremely difficult to vote against the intelligence community on these issues. Because even if there's no merit to the claim, they do feel like they will take the political heat if anything goes wrong. They are also seduced by the intelligence community. There was a remarkable article in Foreign Policy magazine about Keith Alexander, the longtime head of the NSA, who brought in Hollywood set designers to design what he called his information dominant center, which was modeled after the deck on the Starship Enterprise, with doors that went whoosh when they opened and closed. And members of Congress could come in and sit in the captain's chair and see all the incredible tools that were being made, and then sign on the dotted line for the budgets and the authorities that the NSA wanted. So let's contrast that to what's just happened in recent weeks. Some of you may have followed this debate. The Patriot Act, which was passed just after the 9/11 attacks in 2001, has provisions that sunset, that expire, unless they're reauthorized. And one of those provisions was Section 215, this phone tracking provision. It was set to expire on the 1st of June. It had been routinely reauthorized every time before then. And we saw the same old fear-mongering playbook being brought out by the administration and the security state. If you allow this law to expire, there will be mayhem, terrorist attacks, and a bipartisan coalition in Congress of liberal Democrats on the left and libertarian Republicans on the right essentially stood up to this, didn't buy it, and called the bluff of the intelligence community, allowed the law to expire, and then a few days later passed something called the USA Freedom Act, which is certainly incomplete as a legislative response to the scope of the problem that we're facing, and nonetheless historic, because it's the first time since 1978 that the United States Congress has restricted rather than expanded the surveillance authority of the intelligence community.